name is Noelle Dunn. I'm the program head of the Paramedic programs. So under that umbrella is the primary care paramedic program, the advanced care paramedic program, and the community paramedic program. The primary care paramedic program is our entry-level programming for Saskatchewan EMS services. So this is kind of don't want to say the lowest, but the entry-level program, which is then a prerequisite for our continued programs of advanced care paramedic and community care paramedic. The PCP, so the primary care paramedic program, is 48 weeks in length, and that actually does include our practicum placements. So we have 3 semesters in the PCP program that are didactic, and then we have at the end of semester 3 and a 4th semester that are practicums, which consist of both a rural and an urban rotation in EMS agencies. So the admission requirements for the PCP program is a minimum of a grade 12 education with a 60% average in Englishes, biology or chemistry, workplace or apprenticeship math or foundation maths will also count towards that. Upon admission, you also have to show certification in standard first aid and CPR level C. All of those are looked at and are a requirement to be admitted into the program. There's a lot of opportunity in Saskatchewan and nationally. Our program is an accredited program, which does give labor mobility throughout Canada. After programming, our students to be licensed in Saskatchewan have to write a national licensure exam. With that national licensure exam, it does give them labor mobility throughout the provinces. Within Saskatchewan, there's lots of opportunity. PCPs are one of the highest sought after emergency services that we have. There's opportunity in both rural and urban locations, and that would be your traditional EMS settings. And then we also have industrial EMS and some of our northern location EMS services, which they work both in facility and on ambulance. What we find is somebody who does very well with time management. Semester 1 of our program is considered a blended learning. So there's both online and face-to-face labs. And you really need to have good time management strategies for that first semester, because there's so much that is with online content. On our semester 2, it's more of your traditional face-to-face. Right now, some of that is done virtually, but we have a lot of hands-on components. A student coming into our program really needs to understand that, like, our student day is 5 hours. However, the average student puts an additional 2 to 3 hours of study time over and above the 5-hour student day that we have. So that's where time management really plays a role in what gives a really good, strong student. With our Saskatchewan Polytechnic PCP program, like I said, we are an accredited program, which does give the labor mobility throughout Canada. We are known for our nationally high standards of producing very competent and confident practitioners. We have quite an amazing reputation, not just provincially, but like I said, nationally, of our students coming out very, very competent. We ensure that there is a lot of hands-on skills and hands-on simulation that our students go through. So when they do go out into industry and get jobs, they're very confident in what they're doing. A lot of our skill set involves us using high critical thinking skills. We have, unlike a lot of healthcare disciplines, our environment is very uncontrolled, and we try to make sure that we simulate that through simulation scenarios. So we use state-of-the-art technology that lots of other programs may not be using. And then we really strive for that environmentally correct simulation to make sure students can transition from the classroom to their practicum and then into their profession quite easily. So in grade 12, a student would need their English Language Arts A 30 and B 30. They do need to have either Biology 30 or Chemistry 30, and then one of the maths. So this is typically Workplace and Apprenticeship Math 30 or Foundations of Math 30. Pre-Calculus 30 would also count. Previous Saskatchewan Mathematics Math 30 would also be accepted. A typical day would have our students on campus before our traditional start time of 9 o'clock. We really try to enforce the same behaviors and expectations of our profession. So in our profession of EMS, it is standard for practitioners to show up for their shift approximately 30 minutes before their start time. And we really reiterate that same standard that students need to be at in the classroom, prepared for their scenarios, prepared for their student workday 30 minutes prior to the start of their scheduled time. That is an industry standard that we have, and we really want that transition to happen quite fluently for students going from our schooling to then into the profession. Our day can involve multiple things. We can start off with lectures. The way we try to do our transfer of knowledge is we will give the pre-reading material ahead of time. Students have access to all of our PowerPoints, lots of pre-recorded lectures, and then there is the face-to-face or virtual lecture that will occur. From there, we do the transfer of knowledge onto skills, and then we continue on doing simulation scenarios. So we're really watching that, how somebody learns from, let's do the reading first and transition into how we are going to maintain and retain that knowledge and practical skills. So we do something called a flipped classroom quite frequently, where the students will have done all of their pre-reading ahead of time. They will have some case studies with some instructors built into the curriculum. And then as we are learning different treatment plans and different treatment modalities, we will do it together as a group in a simulated environment in the classroom, where we're in small groups kind of practicing these hands-on skills and assessments, and then following up with our treatment plans. The video that we go through really highlights the flipped classroom that we do, where we have an instructor giving everybody the same information, and in small groups, you're trying to manage a critically ill patient. I've been in EMS and a paramedic I'm in my 24th year, going into my 24th year here. So I took the program back in the mid-90s. Right out of school, I chose to go work in rural Saskatchewan. From there, I went to an urban center for quite a few years. I have a love for paramedicine, and that's where I've now continued on to a more of an educational base and trying to increase the scope of practice for paramedics both provincially and nationally. So my career has really gone from that entry-level practitioner into the advanced care paramedic, who now tries to get more tools in our toolboxes. So I sit on quite a few national committees and provincial committees to really help with the continuing education. One thing about paramedicine and medicine in general is trends always change. And we've seen a lot of that even if you think back over the past year through the pandemic, on how quickly changes have happened in medicine. So my role now is watching and looking for up and coming trends once we've had more research on new procedures, new skills, new medications that we can give. I truly have a love for this industry, and that's why I've been in it for 24 years. One of the things I find most beneficial is, if this is something that you're interested, get a hold of us. Give me a call, and have that conversation. I'm very transparent about what our profession is like. It is amazing, but it is stressful. It is one of the highest stressful jobs out there. And what we do at Sask Poly is we really focus on not just making you academically strong, but we do have physical components too that we do assess in programming. But we really try to focus on that well-rounded practitioner, making sure that we give you the mental and emotional resiliency to be able to do this career too. So having that conversation about what this looks like, I'm very open to. And I just encourage people to send me an email and we can have a conversation of any questions you have or concerns you may have. But we really focus on that well-rounded practitioner. So we want to make sure our students are trained, they're mentally strong, physically strong, and then very didactically confident and competent in their training. So when you do go out into the profession, you aren't hesitant about what you're going to be doing.